Hey, what's up, guys? It's Coach Bronson here, the No Carb Athlete, and I'm going to go over what's next, right? We've finished the cut, 7 months of going through a protocol where I'm trying to get as lean as I can before this low carb cruise in 4 days. Going on the cruise, speaking on the cruise, we're leaving out of Florida on Sunday. We're flying out. We're flying out Saturday, leaving on Sunday. Going to be gone for 7 days, hanging out with some awesome people. We get to spend a whole week with Maria Emmerich and Dr. Bickman and Dr. Sivis and the Two Crazy Ketos and the Keto Chow folks and just a bunch of other people in the community trying to talk about health and fitness. It's going to be fantastic. Get away for a week and do nothing but talk about health and fitness, and maybe go swim with some pigs, get on the beach a little bit, hang out at the pool, eat a lot of meat, all that good stuff. So it's going to be a great time of fellowship. Um, what comes next? So spent 7 months cutting. I started this process 7 months ago at about 195 total body weight. I'm now about 176. So I've lost about 20 pounds total weight. My body fat percentage was 16 and a half, and I'm down to under 10. So I've lost over 6% body fat in 7 months, basically about a percent a month. Okay. Which is pretty cool. My lean body mass, I started out around 91 pounds. Sorry, not lean body mass, skeletal muscle mass. I started out around 91 pounds of skeletal muscle mass. It went up a little bit through the process because some of the things that we were doing with protein intake and things like that. I got up to almost 94 pounds, kind of in the middle, like 3.5, 4 months in. And then as we got into the serious cut, dropping me below 10% body fat, it went back down to 91. So I actually went up a little bit and then came back down. But from the start point to the end point, my skeletal muscle mass basically didn't change. I'm at 91 pounds now. I started the process 7 months ago at 91 pounds. So the ability to decrease body fat and drop total body weight while maintaining lean mass is absolutely doable. I just did it. Okay. And it's not like I didn't know that we could do that. That's kind of what I've been doing with different protocols, right? The key is finding different protocols. Everyone works a little bit differently. Everybody has different lifestyles, experiences, things that they like to do, don't like to do, things that help them sustain and be more consistent. So finding different ways to get the same results is really key. That's one of the reasons I did this experiment. Okay. This was high fat, lower protein than what I'm used to. So it's a different methodology to try to get to similar goals. Okay. Because everybody's different, right? And if I can't experience it, if I haven't been through it, then it's hard for me as a coach to guide someone else through the process as well. Right. So I have a better understanding of this methodology. Now, if it fits in a client circumstance or situation, then I can actually help them walk through it and get them some success. Now, what comes next? Things that I learned about doing this process that I'm going to take into the next level, okay? Or just in general about cutting, okay? First off, if you know me, you know that I don't like the idea of cutting. Cutting and bulking, two different directions, different phases of body recomposition that, in my opinion, based on the information that I have and the things that I've done in real life with real people, does not need to be two separate processes. Okay. So the traditional mindset that a lot of bodybuilders, which is where most of our body recomposition methodologies come from. Okay. When we talk to anybody on the street about body recomposition, most people are basing it off of what's been popularized by bodybuilding. Okay. They go through a season of bulking, getting big, adding muscle, and usually adding fat and overall body weight and size. And then they go through a season of cutting, getting lean, dropping body fat, dropping overall body weight, and trying to get as much muscle mass to be visible through their skin by reducing body fat as possible. So, two different phases that traditional bodybuilding follows. And that is kind of what the process I just went through was based on, which, while it was interesting and definitely a illuminating experience to go through the process, it's not something that I'm a fan of. Okay, primarily because it revolves around one primary concept that I don't think we need to do in order to be healthy. Okay. So there's a different goal, health and quality of life versus the optimal body composition of a bodybuilder. Two different goals and two very different methodologies. Okay. Um, the basis of cutting as a bodybuilder, the bodybuilder mentality is restriction. Stop eating, drop your calories, get your body to maintain. And here's the difference between what I did versus what traditional bodybuilding does. Okay. The ketogenic bodybuilding cutting process is about utilizing caloric deficit while maintaining base metabolic function, okay, and hormonal function. So keeping your body healthy by focusing on fat as the primary macronutrient and then protein to maintain, all right, as opposed to the traditional bodybuilding methods of go super low fat, super low carb, but using carbs as a leverage for energy instead of letting your body work within the ketogenic processes. So your recovery is less, your oxidative stress and your inflammation is more, okay, because it's carb focused. So the difference being ketogenic bodybuilding cut versus a traditional bodybuilding cut is still both focused on caloric deficit. The ketogenic process, which I am much more a fan of, is going to preserve your metabolic function and preserve your hormone function way better than doing anything with carbs. Okay. So if you're looking at bodybuilding, if you're looking at trying to get as absolutely lean as possible while maintaining function, that is a method that you can definitely look into. Okay. Ketogenic, high fat, moderate to low protein, caloric deficit. That's the key. That's different than what I'm doing next. Okay. So my methodology and the way that I run things, and I wanted to see how things were different comparatively, okay, to the ketogenic high fat cut approach to my process, which is high protein, moderate to low fat. Okay. Still, both of them do the same thing. Okay. The difference is I like my methodology because the one thing that's different is doing it with higher protein. I don't feel hungry. There's less hunger. There's less mental energy spent on maintaining willpower and trying to make sure that I don't overeat according to plan. When I do things high protein, I can pretty much eat whatever I want. If I want to eat a pound of beef, I can eat a pound of beef. Okay, I don't have to worry about what the macros are because the protein is the primary. And if I get 250 grams of protein, that's great. All I need to do is moderate my fat and make sure my fat doesn't go above a certain level. So I can eat leaner cuts. I can be more satiated. I don't have to worry about feeling like I need a snack or feeling hungry in the evening, things like that. Okay. The one catch that I've had in the past doing my methodology, the higher protein, moderate to low fat, okay, is energy. As I get lower in body fat, because I'm taking in less fat, there's less for my body to utilize and I have an energy issue. What I've learned since the last time I did this, okay, the last time I did this, high protein, low fat, I got to about 8% body fat, which is about where I'm at now. Okay. The difference now is two things. One, the process that I just used to cut to this percentage was higher fat. So my intake of energy was higher. Number two, over the past year and a half, I've gotten much better at understanding and implementing a higher level of overall electrolytes. So when I did this in the past, several years ago, I did not understand the importance of electrolytes in energy utilization and how your body accesses energy that's stored, okay? And the body's ability to transfer that energy around the body. So understanding that now and implementing higher electrolytes, a lot higher. I'm doing about 10 grams of sodium a day, and doing it higher fat. My energy hasn't been a problem at all. I haven't had any energy issues. Okay. The only issues I've had doing this process is that during my workouts and my recovery with the lower protein, I felt like my recovery has not been as good. My workouts have not been as effective. I've lost some strength. Things just don't feel as good in the gym. Okay. Now, since I've gone back, it's been a few days now. I've upped my protein. My protein's gone from 110 grams to I've been averaging about 180 to 190 grams a day over the past 4 days, 3 or 4 days. Okay. Um, Almost immediately, I feel better. I went to the gym the last 2 days. I've been at the gym and I've been absolutely crushing it. It's amazing how much of a difference almost immediately getting that much more protein in a day makes a difference. Okay. So what I'm doing now, and this is the next experiment. Okay. I want to prove a couple things. Okay. A couple things I want to prove. One, you do not have to alternate between bulking and cutting. Okay, that's one of my theories. That's one of the theorems or theses, whatever you want to call it, that I'm going to posit and put out there, and then I'm going to try and demonstrate. Okay, so over the next few months, I don't know how long I'm going to do this. I'm just going to keep doing it because it's my theory and my opinion is that this is sustainable indefinitely. Okay, because I'm going to get enough fat to fuel my body to keep my hormones in check, but I'm going to also focus on growth and protein and recovery and stimulus of the muscles to grow and gain lean mass. Right. So my theory is you do not need to alternate between cutting and bulking. You can do both at the same time. So I've already cut. I'm already at a good body fat percentage. I'm around 10%, between 8 and 10%. Okay. I'm going to stay between 8 and 10%, and I'm going to add lean mass. That's my goal. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate number one, you don't have to separate bulking and cutting. You can stay lean and build muscle at the same time. All right. So I'm at 91 pounds of skeletal muscle mass. My goal is to get to 100. I have 9 pounds of muscle that I want to add. Okay. While maintaining a sub 10% body fat percentage. That's the goal. So that's goal number one, 100 sub 10. Okay. Second thing, I'm a no carb athlete. I do not generally almost ever eat carbs. The carbs that I eat, if I get carbs, come from two places: eggs, because there's some carbs in eggs, and cheese when I eat cheese, which I don't do a lot of, but when I do, there's carbs in cheese. Okay. Those are the two places I get carbs from. I eat only animal-based foods. Okay. That being said, I'm going to gain 9 pounds of muscle without eating more than 15 grams of carbs per day, whatever comes in the animal meat that I eat, the animal based foods that I eat. Okay. So, second thing that I'm going to show, you do not need carbs to perform athletically. You don't need carbs to do high intensity interval training. You don't need carbs to build muscle. You do not need carbs in order to improve your body's capacity to do work. Period. Your body is designed to generate carbs from the things that you eat, fat and proteins. You do not need to eat carbs. Okay. I'm not saying you can't and that you shouldn't. That is a completely individual decision. What I'm saying is you do not need to. There are far too many people who are out there saying that you have to eat carbs in order to perform. BS. Okay, and that's the second thing I want to show. So the two things that we're going to show over the next few months: one, you don't need to separate bulking and cutting, and two, you do not need carbs. All right, I'll get into more information. I'll put some stuff in the notes here or in a blog at nocarbathlete.com and talk about specifics about what the protocol is going to be and how I'm going to do it. But keep your eyes peeled, follow along, right? I'm going to post on a regular basis what I'm eating, what my workouts are, what my body composition changes are over the next several months. So keep an eye out. Take it easy.